Hi, my name is Jonathan and I'm 23 years old. And I'm here today to ask you a question that I was asking myself a long time ago. There was this thing that made me question and let me really question a lot about reality and about the current things and my current beliefs. In 2022, I decided that I wanted just to start studying philosophy and some sciences. Doing that, I started to understand a lot of things around me, like why and when and for what and what is this. One of the things that I wanted to talk about today is the fact that I decided that I wanted to be a deist. Why deisty? Well, none of these gods that exist today on the planet Earth is real. There's no freaking way. All of the religions that exist, there are 4,000 religions. I studied just the top 10. To be specific, I studied the top 6: Buddhism, Hinduism, Islam, Christianity, and Judaism. So I don't want to start a fight with anyone. I'm not here to make you leave your religion. I don't care, seriously. But I'm here today to tell you my experience and why did I decide to switch from the past religion to deisty. So first of all, humans, according to anthropology, started as some sort of an animal species. And we were hunter-gatherers. There were many ethnic humans and there were many other sort of humans. We're not the only humans that were back then. I mean, we're Homo sapiens, and as Homo sapiens, there was a lot of brothers to us. There were distant brothers. We could marry from them, and they were the same species. Anywho, these species went through a lot of, let's say, different levels of development, and they developed some sort of technique to stay in the land. And what I'm saying in the land, that they started farming, and farming made basically some issues with the human species, because other humans started attacking us just to steal our crops. So here where humans decided that we need some sort of protection, and the people who had power gathered other people, and they made an army, and this army belonged to a king. This king now made the state. So the state was one of the first human developments towards the thing that we are today as modern humans, as the people who have sciences and we discover stuff and we have a very comfortable life. After we developed the state, well, we started creating some sort of stories, because we are in the same spot, the spot that can grow crops, and then we can eat those crops and live in this land, farming it and living and passing through the generations. But the issue is, from this area, it's maybe 6,000 years ago, we started asking questions, because we have time. We're not moving a lot and we have a lot of time. So we are now asking a lot of existential questions. Who are we? And why are we here? What are we doing? Why there's luck? Why there's thunder? Why, if we walk a long distance, we have seas and stuff? So we started asking so many questions. These questions were not answered. So we, as I explained in this episode, started making stories. And one of these stories was the story of the first God. Let me explain something quick. Look, this is the exact moment that we decided we need some sort of external explanation to explain all of these questions. So why? Why do we need it? So first of all, we couldn't stop. We just needed something quick and decisive. Why did we create this being? So first of all, why is it a God? Because as humans, we have daddy issues. Let me be straight with you. We have daddy issues. And I'm serious, I'm not even kidding. We needed something that represented our Father. By this time, we created some sort of a religious identity. Of course we didn't, because those people lived at least 5,000 years ago. This is the story, the actual story of how did we as humans created gods. And then every single religion that came after this story copied the freaking first. He's a god, a male, because the dominant gender was male. This God wants you to obey me, to obey him. I mean, this is the most rip-off story of all time. Let me be honest with you guys. So, if you want to obey our God, you need to obey me because he told me those stories. And in my opinion, there's 3 ways to really tell that this is actually not correct. The first actual answer for this is actually by studying philosophy and maintaining an ideology on how could you differentiate what is real and what is not, as we call it the knowledge theory. With the knowledge theory, you can tell what's real, what's actually true, and what is not, what is true, and what is a fallacy. Not everyone that followed the philosophical explanation had reached any sort of true idea about what is right and what is wrong. You can't say that those gods are false by just studying the theory of knowledge. But you can tell that these religions was made by human hands and they were earth-made. Of course, we can run into anthropology and we can see the development and the development of species and the development of the human race itself, and how did everything end up the way that it is. This is the way number 2, and it's much more complicated than the way number 1. Of course, studying anthropology is not really enough. You need to study different sciences and different ideas about how do the scientific research work and why do we as humans answer those questions the way that we actually did, and why did the former or the past religions answer those same questions in the metaphysical ways, and they created some sort of fantasies to just to answer these questions. By then you will find that the ideas of religion were really not that logical, not that thoughtful, that doesn't even align with the modern science, even have the tools that we have today. So they could not answer those questions the same way that we did. Let me give an example. Let's go to the Greek mythology. The Greek mythology, they had a god named Zeus. This god was the god of thunder. Anytime a thunder struck, it was Zeus. We had that covered. It was Zeus. The development of weather science and the development of other sciences discovered that the thunder is actually from clouds colliding and smushing together, creating an electrical striking, or I don't know how to explain it, electrical striking into Earth. So that how we really, now we see Zeus as something ridiculous. We don't even look at Zeus in a way that he's really a real thing. We don't even consider him to be a real thing. The third way is by studying psychology, sociology, and anthropology. I know I mentioned anthropology, but I made a mistake. So the idea that as humans, we developed these sorts of, we developed our species from cavemen to farmers to aristocrats and kingdoms and stuff, to getting to this modern world. It was a bloody, it was not a nice history for us as species on this earth, but in the end it was the development state, and we are now, in my opinion, we're done from this development state. We don't need it anymore. We don't need this anymore. So bottom line is studying the development of how did the communities developed and how did we as humans developed is the most suitable way. If you really are thinking about this, this is the best way possible. Anyhow, the bottom line of this video was just a message from me to you, to be skeptic, to always doubt what is being told by you, by the religious man, by the political man, by your parents, by the science man, because you don't know how real this information that you're giving yourself, because you believe me, your brain is empty space. Whatever you put in your brain is gonna reflect you as a person. So bottom line, just be skeptic, think more, read more, study more, because the more you study, the more that you know, the more you are as a human worth. And that what matters. Thank you so much for watching. If you made it this far, don't forget to watch the previous episode, the next episode. Go watch the sources that I gave you in the description.